Hey, family, my name is Arron. I'm an addict. It's a good topic. Thanks, Daryl, for sharing again. Needed to hear that. Because I was the addict who worked step one and thought I was cured. Stopped coming to meetings, stopped calling my sponsor, stopped I disconnected from this program in every kind of way. And within about 3 months I used and went back to the penitentiary. So this is a 12-step program. We need all 12. But the ends are always the same. And I didn't think so, right? I didn't think the ends were always the same, or I thought it was going to be different for me somehow. I thought I was unique in some way. Like I was introduced to this program in 1993. I was young. I was in my teens. And I looked at all the differences. I was in St. Francis Rehab, people talking about smoking crack and shooting dope and all this other stuff. And I couldn't relate because at the time I was just smoking weed and drinking. But my life was so unmanageable from just that, that the people like McGarty and everybody thought that I needed some type of help. So I got out of St. Francis Rehab, not convinced. I did some therapy and this and that. I went to this program, this adolescent drug and alcohol program where they took us to a meeting every single day of the week, even Sunday and holidays. We went to a meeting every single day around the city of Pittsburgh. And while I was in there, I said, there's something to this. I felt better. I wasn't drinking and smoking all that weed, so I started getting a little healthier. But I wasn't honest with myself. I wasn't honest with them. And I got out of that program, and I wound up using 90 going north again, went back to the same program a year later. I was in the same program going to the same meetings. And it's crazy because I still see people in the rooms today that was clean since back then. But I thought that I thought that there was a way that I could use successfully, and because like I said, if it was just weed and alcohol, it wasn't a big deal, But like I got kicked out of school. I never had any money. I was in and out of like shoemen and kiddie lockups from committing crimes to get money, to get high. And, when I turned 18, the Schumann Center and the programs and the group homes turned into the county jail immediately. I immediately went to the county jail. And then I was in and out of the county jail for 3 years. When I turned 21, I went to the penitentiary before I was 22. So the ends are always the same, right? So my addiction progressed, and I went from smoking weed and drinking to smoking crack. And my dad died as a direct result of smoking crack. He was like 60 years old. He was a big trick. All the young girls in the neighborhood used to come to the house, bring their hot stuff to the house, and he'd give them money and take them upstairs and do his little business or whatever. So they turned him. Then I seen him going out the house with the washer, the dryer, his gun, his TV, taking everything out the house. I'm like, what's going on? Why are you doing this? He was my hero. But I was like baffled by the situation, how crack had ruined, like took him from here in my mind to like way down here. I thought I was above him at some point. So I said, because I seen what it did to his life, I was never going to smoke crack. But I'm an addict, right? And the ends are always the same. And the disease is progressive, incurable, and fatal. So I started smoking crack. And when I got out of the penitentiary, the first time I did 5 years for a robbery. I got out. And my last 2 years, I was in a program in the therapeutic community. If anybody know what that is, it's like 8 hours a day program. No, it was like 12 hours a day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I was in a program in groups all day. And I did 9 months in the program. And then I worked in the program, made the highest pay in the jail, 42 cents, for like 18 months until I got till I got out in May of 2004. I didn't get high in jail. And life was good, right? So I started praying. They said you need to pray. So I started praying. God started answering all these prayers, and it was stuff that it was like mind-blowing. Like everything I prayed for, everything that I thought that I wanted my life to look like, it started looking like that. But I was going to meetings. I had a home group. I had a sponsor. I got back in my daughter's life. I had the respect and love of my family back. I was living with my sister. And then this was in... I got out. I was in a renewal center too. I did another program in a renewal center. I was in work release. Went right to work. They told me I shouldn't work, but I said I need some money, so I went right to work. So I was in a program. I got out of the program, went to live with my sister. I had a home group. I had a sponsor. and I worked step 1. I wrote on honesty, acceptance, ways of my life was powerless and unmanageable. Thought I did a real good job. Went over with my sponsor, and then I just disconnected. Because I didn't want to use it at the time. Like I said, I didn't use it in the penitentiary. I didn't use it like for the first 8 months I was out, so I didn't think that I would want to use. So when people, and like I had a support group too, because when you get to know people around here and people got your number, they're gonna call you like, "What's going on? Where you been? What's going on?" I said, "I'm cool. I don't need y'all no more. I'm just not going to use. I don't want to use no more." And I thought because my using wasn't that long, that somehow I didn't have the disease of addiction. I just used too much and too often, and drugs kind of controlled my life for that time. But I thought because I was away from it that I wouldn't have a problem no more. So come to find out, after not going to meetings, not connecting with a sponsor or a home group, I wound up using it. Still was in the playoffs. I got a 6-pack, drank 2 of them, gave the rest of my neighborhood, and thought that I could control it now. Now these are the delusions, like I can control it now. But I forgot to say, 2 months after my 19th birthday, I was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. And I heard voices and delusions. It was crazy. It was a whole big thing. That's another story. But as far as recovery goes, long story short, I went on like a cross-country using spree. I got arrested in California, extradited back to Pennsylvania, went back upstate to do a year hit. And I got out on March 27, 2006, which also was my clean day, because since I was like 15, 14, I couldn't do a year on the street. Like I would go to a program or be in a placement. After I couldn't put together a year on the street, and that continued into my adulthood. So I needed a clean date on jails and institutions, because my life, it proved to me that the ends are always the same, right? So, and it was crazy because I got out in 2006. I went to the same cycle. I went to the same drug and alcohol program in the renewal center, went to the same work release. Only thing I did different this time, I didn't work. I signed up for disability. I got disability. And I went to Bridge Housing over in East Liberty, and my recovery started. And I worked step 1, went on to step 2, and I continued on with the steps, and I stayed clean because of that. And then, as I was going through the recovery process, I found out that not only just if I use, I lose. If I use, because it's been proven in my life, if I use, I'm going to get 302'd into the hospital, or I'm going to get arrested. That's all that happens when I use. There was never a time when I use and that didn't happen. So I know that that'll happen. So today, I don't want that. So, and I stay connected, so I don't use. But there's also some things of recovery, right, where the ends are always the same. That insanity piece, right? Relationships and money and everything like that. So I started dating, and I took every suggestion there was, because I didn't want to go back to the penitentiary. I didn't want to use anymore. So I didn't get in a relationship for a year. And then when I started getting in relationships, I started dating females that was in the program. I moved them out of the program, get on phones on my account. And it was back when phones had the minutes. I'm getting $300-$400 bills. I'm having my sister watch her at the bus stop, make sure she ain't on that phone. It was a crazy situation, And then really, because I don't know how to just get with a woman, do the deed, and back away. Like if we do it, you my woman, we're going to get married and have kids, we're going to live happily ever after. That was my story. Maybe it's because I never had a mom, right? I never had a mom, so I always had compassion on the fear of sex. I always had compassion. But when you couldn't tell me that when I was using. But then you get this thing called a conscience around here. I start, feeling guilty and feeling bad, and I want to save every woman in the world. I would save a hoe for real. I wanted to save them all. I wanted to make them all live with me. I wanted to, but the ends are always the same, right? So the one girl, it ended kind of easy. We separated. She went about her way. I went about mine. And then I got with this other girl. And moved her out of the program into another program. Then I moved her out of that program into my apartment. This is my first apartment, first time signing a lease. I had a decent job. I moved her into my place, and it seemed like when I get with girls, they stop, going to meet and stop working their recovery. And she wound up using. She was using for like 2 months before I even knew what was going on, because I'm always at work or at a meeting. But she was using. It got real bad. I had to give up my apartment, move back in with my sister on the north side. It was a crazy situation, but the ends are always the same. So I said, you know what? Maybe it's me. My picker's off. So I stopped picking, and I prayed, asked God, and He sent me somebody. I've been married for 8 years. It's been going well. I got 4 kids now, and but like it says, the ends are always the same. Jails, institutions, and death. What I know from my own personal experience, if I'm praying, if I'm working this program, living the principles to the best of my ability, and doing my best on a daily basis, I'm going to stay clean. I've been staying clean. Things are going to work out regardless of how they work out, even if it ain't the way I like it. Things always have a way of working themselves out as long as I don't take nothing. Like, I've been out of work twice since I've been in recovery. I didn't panic. I didn't lose my mind. I just stayed positive, and I waited on God, and that gave me an opportunity to go to more meetings, and I shared about it, and I want to get another job. But what I'm saying is, as long as I do what I got to do on a daily basis, I love this program. This program has saved my life. It changed my life. It gave me a way back to God. I got a relationship with God that I don't even understand how it could be as good as it is, because I don't worry about too much of nothing today. I really don't worry. I have no schemes cooked up or anything like that. I don't worry about how it's going to work out, because the evidence has been shown in my life. If I don't take nothing, it'll work out regardless of what happens. Like I said, even if it's not to my liking, it'll still work out somewhere down the line. And like this, it's been miraculous, right? Where things I just couldn't explain. I mean, like getting pulled over, and explaining to the officer what happened, and them letting you off with a warning. Stuff like that. Going from walking the halls of Western Psych in pajamas and footies and banging on the glass, to going in Western Psych to visit people behind the glass with the social workers and doctors and stuff like that. So the ends are always the same. If I take this program seriously, the sky's the limit if I make the limit the sky. Like the obsession and compulsion has been removed to use. I thank God for that. But it's up to me. I got to do some work. I got to stay connected. I got to stay vigilant, because I know today I know I have the disease of addiction. It's like a fact in my life. I don't think that I don't have it or think that it'll go away. Because I like love what I got to do to treat it. This, like, y'all showed me how to live outside of here. Like what I learned in here, I'm able to take to my family, take on my job, and everything like that. So I love you guys. I thank you guys, and God bless you.
Thank you.